Even from a distance, there's no mistaking Lottie's shrill little voice.
I want to hold the kitty! Okay, so between episodes, my cat came up and he wanted me to hold him. I'm finding that way too funny.
Don't be ridiculous. Sara came into the room to find Lavinia perched promptly in a window seat, looking down at the smaller child, whose lip was beginning to wobble. Tybalt is in my lap, and he is perfectly content there. Listen, you can hear him purr. That's because I am stroking him, and he likes me.
I want to hold the kitty.
Keep your sticky little fingers away from his fur. Lottie's brow furrowed in fierce determination. Ignoring Lavinia's command, she reached out to pick up the cat. Lavinia slapped Lottie's hand away. The sudden movement jostled Tybalt out of his comfortable doze. With a parting squeeze of his claws, he leapt from Lavinia's legs and hurried out of the room. Now look what you've done, you little brat. He scratched me, and if he's damaged my dress,
it's scratchy because you're mean. You won't even let me touch it. It isn't fair. It isn't.
A cat is not a rag doll. Excuse me, I have had ragdoll cats. Ragdoll is a breed of cat. You cannot snatch and tug at it as you please, or it will bite your hand. Is that too difficult for a child of 8 to understand? She cannot help being younger any more than we can help being older. If she is 8, she is 8, but she will be 9 the next year, and 10 the year after that, and 12 years she'll be 20, and that is quite grand. No, a grand is 1,000. Dear me, how we can calculate. I don't want to be 20. You will when you are, and you won't be while you aren't, so there's no reason to want or not to want. No, no, no! Be quiet or I shall slap your face. You mustn't. Lottie looked into Lavinia's blazing eyes and ran from the room, wailing at the unfairness of it all. You ought not to baby her, Sara. She must learn that she can't have everything her own way. Privately, Sara thought that Lottie was not the only student at the school who might need to learn that lesson. Okay, we're right back here again. So, we don't actually have the new character yet. 6 grace and 5 belief. Okay. Well, we have that. We have 6 grace and 5 belief. I guess that being with Lottie is like a lot of belief over and over again. I don't know. I like Lottie and I like Mariette. Sorry, oh my god, I'm not doing your first event. Sara's room was a bright little jewel in the sometimes drab nest that was Mission Select Seminary. It remained a bright jewel even when Sara was not inside it, which could be seen now by the small figure that crept in through the open door. Where's the maid? Lottie closed the door behind her, then climbed up onto Sara's bed. She placed her legs just a little bit apart and carefully patted down her skirt to ensure that the petticoats were shown exactly as much and as little as intended. I'm a dolly. She laid her arms at her side, tilted back her head, and waited. A minute later, Sara and her maid Mariette entered the room. A flower looks the same upside down as it does right side up, but I can't think of... Her voice paused briefly as she came into the room, and Lottie knew she must have been noticed. Quickly, she closed her eyes. She would never be able to keep a straight face if she looked at Sara. After that moment, Sara continued. My goodness, Emily must have been busy today. I think she was in such a hurry to get back to her seat when he came in that she didn't quite reach the same position. I see, mademoiselle. Will you tell us what you've been up to, Emily? No? You're very good at keeping secrets. I think we ought to change her clothes and get her ready for bed. She must be very tired. Do not forget the new doll. Lottie fought not to giggle, imagining Sara picking her up next and changing her clothes like a doll. But she had to keep her eyes shut or she will spoil the joke. Oh, I'm sure she'll be fine. Dolls have to know how to be still for very long periods of time. Doll in a shop window where everyone can see her must stand for hours and hours without even blinking. I would not like to try it, standing so long. Here, take Emily's shoes and put them away safely. It would be terrible if she lost them. She needs to be able to run quickly. Yes, mademoiselle. Well, I began to realize that no one intended to pay any attention to her. So Mariette continued to fuss over Emily, adjusting her nightgown and her pillows. The new doll was utterly neglected. Lottie couldn't help herself any longer. She whined. "Who is that? Oh, Lottie, when did you come in? I thought you were a doll." "I don't want to be a doll. Being a doll is boring." "Well, I think it's interesting enough for a doll to be a doll, but it's not so much fun for a girl to be one, don't you think, Mariette?" "As you say, mademoiselle." "Humph."
I mean, she did break into your room. Technically.
"Would you like to sit in front of the mirror while I brush your hair, mademoiselle?" "Oh, I don't think so, not by the mirror. You see, it is nice to sit and think while you run the brush through my hair. Sometimes I remember stories or think of things I want to say to someone else. Other times it helps me relax. Must be like that for Tybalt when someone is petting him. If I look into the mirror, then the Sarah in the mirror be looking back at me, and we should have to pay attention to each other, else we might be thought impolite." Mariette laughed in the back of her throat. "That is as you wish. I had thought of doing something different with your hair, and if you could see, then you would know more quickly if you thought yes or no, and I could change it if you did not like it. Well, I think it's better to look at it when it's finished. If you stop reading a book in the middle, you might have the wrong idea of what it's all about. Then I will show you when I am done."
Okay, is her actual style going to change?
"Mariette is so kind. I'd be terribly lonely in these rooms without her. The school is full of other girls, but they are, like me, guests of Miss Minchin, live in the same house, but they are not part of my household. Mariette is the only person who belongs to me. It's nice to sit and think while she brushes my hair. She has a better way with it than my old papa did, but I do miss my papa so. If you were here..."
Okay, this music is like one note away from being the same as... Is that game God Save the Queen?
Yeah, it's that game. I should play that at some point, but maybe. "If you were here, if you were coming to visit me as some girls' parents do, how happy my life would be. I wonder where my papa is now. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak." "No, it is good, mademoiselle. You should speak your thoughts. Your father sailed many weeks ago, but now he is in India, yes? Home and safe, and thinking how different the house seems without your footsteps." "Oh, I don't want to think of him sad and lonely. It's right that he misses you, and that you miss him. That is how things should be. But that does not mean your life is nothing but sadness, does it?" "No, I do not think I am. Melancholy. I would not wish to be. I enjoy my books and my friends. So you see, your papa, he'll be lonely, but he will also feel other things. He will live his life, but he will also think of you. I believe you will hear from him soon." "Oh, I hope you are right." "No, you must be right. My papa will write me letters as soon as the ships can carry them, and I will treasure his words. And I do hope, that my papa has a friend to care for him, as Mariette cares for me."
Okay. So what? A lot of grace and belief.
So angel wings and crosses. So tier body can increase like 1 by 1. That could increase grace by a lot, but I need to get a lot of vigor, and vigor's already at like 8. Artistry is already full. Yeah, I can get it like with artistry. I can get it like with vigor. Or with artistry again. Like, I didn't save this time, but I do want some amount of belief. Okay. Gosh, grace is harder to get than I've thought. Okay. Do want some measure of grace. Let's do this. That won't help. Let's practice dance and hope to get at least 3 grace. Okay, you ready? Let's do this. That's unfortunate. Come on, middle option. No. It's weird that it goes right back to like this. Yeah. If it picks the bottom option of this, I am going back because we don't need more patience. We also don't need the art. Nope. Okay. Back to stance, back to stance. If it picks the bottom option, I'm going back. If that's too bad, then that's too bad. It, like, will not pick the middle here. I mean, you might think, oh, 1 in 3 chance. It's bound to, pick the bottom once, except how many times is it just not picking the middle? Top, top, bottom. Okay, top, top, bottom. Top. Top. So let's see if it does the same thing again. Top, top, bottom, top, top. Leaf is being raised quite a bit. Top, top, bottom, top, top. Again! Alright, so you got one of that. Artistry is nothing. Knowledge is almost full. But hey, we have 5 belief now. While Sara was walking through the school, she heard a great commotion coming from a nearby room. The first high-pitched shriek made her startle, considering that one of the younger girls might have injured herself. Sara was a quiet and solemn girl herself, but made no judgment against those whose temperaments led them to cry out loudly when they were in pain. However, the wailing went on, more angry and miserable, and the voice was recognizably Lottie's. Sara came close and began to make out the accompaniment of frustrated adult that had been drowned out. Childish tantrum. What are you crying for? There's nothing wrong with you. Oh, haven't got my mama. Stop crying for heaven's sake. Where? Haven't got any mama. You ought to be whipped. You shall be whipped if you do not hush, you naughty child. Lottie wailed more loudly than ever. Miss Minchin emerged from the room, her hands pressed to the sides of her head, and paused when she saw Sara lingering outside. Oh, dear Sara. Miss Minchin's attempt at producing a friendly smile was not at all convincing. Lottie's voice continued unabated, and each burst of sound made Miss Minchin's shoulders twitch. I stopped because I knew it was Lottie, and I thought perhaps, just perhaps, I could make her be quiet. May I try, Miss Minchin? If you can quiet that, you are a clever child. Dreadful thing. May not be able to keep her. But you are clever in everything, my dear. I dare say you can manage her. Go in. When Sara entered the room, Lottie was lying upon the floor, screaming and kicking her small fat legs violently. Sara stood by the howling furious child for a few moments, and looked down at her without saying anything. Then she sat down flat on the floor beside her and waited. Except for Lottie's angry screams, the room was quite quiet. This was a new state of affairs for Lottie, who was accustomed to hearing other people protest and implore, command, and coax about turns. Finally, the only person near her did not seem to mind the least how she kicked and screamed as unusual. It made it necessary for her to pause in her sobbing in order to see what was going on. She opened her tight-shut, streaming eyes to see who this person was, found that there was only another little girl, but it was the one who owned Emily and all the nice things. Sara looked at Lottie quite curiously, but said nothing. Lottie sucked in a gulp of air, but the noise she made sounded rather half-hearted. I haven't any mama. Neither have I. Lottie blinked rapidly at this unexpected answer. Her legs and arms ceased their kicking and lay flat against the floor. Where is your mama? She went to heaven, but I'm sure she comes out sometimes to see me, though I don't see her. So does yours. Perhaps they can both see us now. Perhaps they are both in this room. Here! Lottie sat bolt upright and looked around. Seeing nothing, her face began to scrunch up again. You can't see the people who live in heaven, even when they come to visit us. They travel like wind or sunlight. You can only feel them for a moment if they touch you, and then they're gone. They can go anywhere in an instant, but most of the time they stay up above. The land is full of lilies, fields and fields of lilies, and when the soft wind blows over them, it wafts the scent of them into the air. And everybody always breathes it, because that soft wind is always blowing. Wind and sunlight, and the streets always shining. And little children run about in the lily fields and gather armfuls of them and laugh and make little wreaths to wear on their heads as pink cloaks and dresses of soft lily petals. The petals never go dry or brown, but when the children grow tired of them, they toss the petals into the air and they turn into clouds. Lottie had by now quite forgotten to cry, and she was leaning forward, hanging on every word that Sara spoke. In that shining city, people are never tired. However far they walk, they can float anywhere they like. And there are walls made of pearl and gold all around the city, but they are low enough for the people to go and lean on them, and look down onto the earth and smile. From those walls, sometimes they dance down to visit us. Other times, they whisper beautiful messages into the wind and hope that someday we will hear them. Oh, I want to go there. I haven't any mama here. Sara saw the dangerous signal and took hold of Lottie's hand with a coaxing little laugh. I'll be your mama in this school. We'll play you are my little girl, and Emily shall be your sister. Shall she? Yes, let's go and tell her. Then I'll wash your face and brush your hair, and both of us will have a little bit more family. Well, I have the patience and the sympathy. Oh, gosh. Okay. I think I might need a second. Okay. I wonder what happens if you play through the whole game and you skip every weekend event. Just get all of your stats up to like 10 and just keep skipping the weekends. Like, I'm wondering if I'm seeing more Lottie scenes because I've been going with Lottie more and more. I mean, I guess we're going with Lottie. So... Hold on, just... So, Mama, can you tell me more about your mama? What was she like? Oh. Sara set her cup down. I never met her, not really, so I only know what my papa and his friends have told me. You never met her? No, she died when I was born. Do you remember your mother? A little bit, but not very much. I'm afraid I'll forget. You must have been very young. No one expects you to remember everything perfectly. But isn't it bad if all I have is a little, and I lose it? You don't have to remember it all yourself. You can ask other people who knew your mother to tell you about her. Sara had a faraway little smile on her face, the sort that she developed sometimes when she was supposing a story. My mother was from France. She had long dark hair and a sparkling laugh. That is what my papa said first caught his attention. I don't think that I have a sparkling laugh. I believe I am more like my papa that way. I should like to hear someone else's sparkle. Do I have a sparkly laugh? I don't know. What does it sound like when you laugh? Lottie's eyes swept back and forth, a little forehead wrinkled. I can't laugh with you looking at me. Well, maybe I'll hear it someday when I am not looking. Tell me more. Was your mama beautiful and perfect? I don't think any person is perfect, but everyone says she was beautiful and calm and kind. Lottie fidgeted in her seat. She scooped up one of the little sugared biscuits and popped it into her mouth all in one go, though quite a good minute of chewing before she could speak again. Do you ever think about if you'll be like your mama when you grow up? Not very often, no. In truth, while Sara was certainly aware that she had once had a mother, and a natural curiosity had brought about a few questions and answers, it's not a matter that greatly occupied her thoughts. Never having known her, Sara had never had reason to miss her. Absence was not a cause of sadness or reflection. It was nothing like the pain of being separated from her beloved papa. I suppose I might become like her in some ways, as children do. But she died. When she became a mama, she died. Well, then I'm already different, because I'm already Emily's mother, and yours as well. Minded of her duties, Sarah fetched a handkerchief and brushed at Lottie's face. You're getting crumbs everywhere. You should be careful not to get your dress dirty. Your sister Emily is very good at keeping her clothes clean. She looked to her as an example. She is a model daughter. That's what Miss Minchin always calls people, a model or a show. Lottie could not help but giggle. Girls, gather round, if you please. We will be welcoming a special dance instructor today who is visiting us from France. She'll be leading you in exercises to increase your grace and posture. Go and change into your leotard-style dancing costumes. Oh, right, you three exist. She swept off to her office, and the girls clustered eagerly together. A special dance instructor? Do you suppose she might be from the Ballet de l'Opera from Paris? The Ballet of the Opera? The Paris Opera Ballet, of course, the absolute birthplace of romantic ballet, and they go all the way back to the court of the Sun King. Oh, I am not so fond of ballet as you are. No one is as fond of ballet as Jessie is. It is a sickness with her. I wonder if there really is a sickness that can make you like one thing or one person more than another. If there were, would anyone wish to be cured? Such things you imagine. In any event, it might not be ballet. She is a special instructor, after all. Perhaps you will be permitted to practice social dances, perhaps even the waltz. My father says the waltz is shocking. Watching you attempt to perform it, no doubt, would be, yo, calm down. If we're all out the waltz, I'll be dancing with Jessie. Oh, perhaps you had better go and get our costumes? Oh my God, it's very sensible. Oh, it took as little praise as that to make poor Miss St. John look pleased. Dancing lessons did not progress quite as anyone expected, so you don't have a proper dancing hall. I do not see how this can be described as dancing. Okay, why does your class have 4... I don't know. I mean, to be fair, the teacher just says, like, hey, you have a bunch of different students here. These are 3 near your age. So I'm guessing that Lottie's just part of the class, but, you know, she's not near Sarah's age. How old is Sarah, anyway? Do we ever find out? Like 12, 14, something? It is preparation for dancing. We're learning to stretch and relax our bodies so we may move more beautifully. It's French. Sarah, is this the way things are usually done in France? I've never asked Mariette whether she took dancing lessons. I want to walk on my hands. Leave your hands on the floor long enough and Ermengarde will trot on them for you. Ah, Jessie, be careful. You are tickling me. The instructor said it was imperative that we rub deeply to warm our muscles. To speak of muscle upon a lady is very unseemly. Your hands are very strong, Ermengarde. Oh, did I hurt you? No, not a bit. It feels nice. It's a little like having my hair brushed. Makes me feel like a cat being petted. I want to be a cat. I want to dance like a cat. Cats don't dance. You have never seen a cat if you think cats don't dance, okay? I will tell you, cats will absolutely dance. They dance at the court of the king of cats. Sarah. How do they dance, Sarah? Do they stand on their hind legs? Sometimes, yes. Well, girls, cease chatting. Get ready for your lessons. Yes, Miss Michigan? Okay, so I guess we should practice dance. Yeah, what do you think? Oh. Okay, wait, hold on. Oh, whoops, I did. Okay, whatever. Sympathy and grace. Was this good for sympathy and grace? Sympathy was hearts, right? I guess we should hit done and then, like, see what we can get with all of this. So this is going to be... I Alright, top, middle, cool. Top, middle, bottom. Middle. Bottom. Top, middle, bottom. Whoa, 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 whoa. Top, middle, bottom, middle, bottom. Top, middle, bottom. Okay, okay. Let's get a bit of grace. So you're getting belief and a lot of sympathy here. Bottom. Okay, okay. So we're getting a lot of belief and sympathy here. So how much of each are we getting? So we're getting like a couple of, yeah, grace there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sympathy. I didn't save it the last thing. But belief is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then that actually won't be a help at all. So we'll only get like 2 grace. Actually, now that I think about it, we could get a 3rd if we really wanted to. Is this really what we want, though? Because if we look at it, our belief is going to be way up, and our sympathy is going to be... Yeah, sympathy is going to be 4, grace is going to be 2, belief is going to be like 10. I'm not sure. Hopefully this is good for someone. Yeah, top, middle, bottom, middle, bottom. Okay, I kind of like... Because then you can at least, like, calculate the things that you really need. Yeah, we don't need artistry. Our knowledge, artistry, belief, and vigor are all completely full now. Are you well, my petite? Yes, I'm only feeling a little tired. The day's been growing warmer, but the air never feels the same way that it did in India. I suppose Amagad is right, and it is the smell of London. Even if I cannot distinguish one scent above the others, that would mean London. It must always be there, as I am. Bon courage, mademoiselle. I have something here which will brighten your day. A letter from Papa. Oh, merci, Mariette. Merci beaucoup. She did not open at once, but pressed the envelope to her chest. My papa has sent this. It has been in his hands. If a letter can come from his hands into mine, then we are never so far apart. At last, she took out the paper and began to read. My dear little missus, here I am once again in Bombay. I have little to tell you of my adventures, for no sooner did I reach my home than I began thinking of you and putting pen to paper. Therefore, I have seen little since I left you other than ships, and you remember those. Sarah closed her eyes. Sent let herself remember the voyage from India, the big ship, the lascars passing silently to and fro on it, the children playing about on the hot deck. There had been women on board, the wives of some young officers who invited Sarah to take tea with them and delighted in making her speak her unusual thoughts. Most importantly, there had been her papa. I felt it important to write to you at once that you would not worry about your poor old papa all alone on the ocean. All is well, I am returned, and my life here is remarkably unchanged in my absence. Now it is your duty to let me know all that has happened since I left you, all the new friends you have made, the books you have read, and the sights you have seen in London. Remember Colonel Grange and his little girl Isabel? In a year she'll be old enough that she must leave for England as well. I rely on your advice to tell her what to expect in her schooling. Give my regards to Emily and any companions who may have acquired. Yours always, your loving papa. Sarah held the letter in her hands, already beginning to imagine the many things she might write in response. I love you too, Papa. Okay. It's week 7, and on week 10, we have a Lottie event that we need sympathy for. Let's actually save this time. Thank you. So we need more sympathy. Yeah, we have tons of knowledge. We need a bit of sympathy, and then we can do a Lottie event on week 10. Now, yes, I say that we raise up. We have 3 stats that are not full. Let's raise them up as much as possible. But first, a Mariette event. Come and see. Ah, mademoiselle, you do not need to tug at me. It is a promise. I will follow. Her hands still held in Sarah's, Mariette stepped into the classroom. I'm very sorry, I was too excited. That is quite all right, then. Now, what is it that you wish to show me? Well, as it happens, it is more what I wish for you to show me. Miss Mason keeps the globe in the schoolroom. I was hoping that you could show me where in France you were born. If it pleases you, mademoiselle. The globe? That's always been there? I do not think it will make much impact for you, though. The distance between one city and another, compared to the world, is not so much. Dutifully, she turned the globe to bring France into view. Somewhere near here, I believe, would be Limoges. Sarah followed Mariette's finger, then smiled to herself. You're right. It's not tell me anything more than I already knew. To show me where you lived, in India? Here, I think, or somewhere nearby. It's hard to be sure. But this is where the ship took us. She had tilted her head and considered Mariette curiously. You were very different from an Indian servant. My aunt was always kind to me, Aya. But she would never tell me if I were doing something wrong or making a mistake. Even if I asked for her opinion, she'd always say that I was right. It's very confusing sometimes until I learned to ask my papa when I needed to know something. Your papa wrote of you that you were a clever and curious child who was eager to learn, and who would appreciate having the reasons explained to you. Yes, that is just so. It was another sign of how much her papa had considered her needs and well-being, and it made Sarah feel warm to think it. Every time Mariette speaks to me, it is a gift from my papa. I do miss my Aya sometimes, and the other servants from our home. They are always a part of my life, even the ones that worked directly for my papa did not speak to me. They were familiar. I wish that I could see them again. All of my life, I suppose my life hasn't really been that long, has it? But for all my life, I always knew that I would have to go away, like other children did. The climate of India is very bad for British children, who must return to England and go to school. That is what everyone says. I wonder, is the climate of England all very bad for Indian children also? Perhaps that is why none of them traveled with us here. Perhaps that is so. If, as you say, the climate is very different, then it could be very difficult to adjust. However, mademoiselle, it is also very possible that they do not wish to travel so far from the homes and families that they love. Oh, yes, I didn't think of that. I would not wish to leave either. If I had the choice, I would rather be at home with my papa. It's very difficult to leave behind all that you have known and travel to a foreign land. But this is a foreign land to you. Wasn't it difficult to leave your family and your home in France? Mariette's smile was enigmatic. Who can say? Perhaps it is all for the best, in the best of all possible worlds. Okay. A lot of talking. Wow, this is why I don't do visual novels very much. Yes, I hear Sarah coming. Quickly, step aside. Don't let her see us. But why? Shh. Lavinia took hold of her friend's shoulders and pushed her back against the wall. Wait a moment. There, she's gone. That was brilliant. Why are you avoiding Sarah? Ever since she got that letter, it's been nothing but India this and India that. If I have to hear her say that word again, I'm afraid the hair will fly right off my head. I like her stories. Do you know her father has faced down a tiger? He shot the one whose skin Sarah has in her room. That's why she likes it so. She lies on it and strokes his head. It talks to it as if it were a cat. It's simply disgusting. If it were a cat, it'd be the one that he had killed. What next? Will she drown to Bolt and then have him stuffed for a pillow? I don't think it's the same thing at all. Sarah says that tiger was attacking an outpost and he had to shoot it. Sarah tells stories, you know that. Well, I think her father sounds very interesting, and so does India. It's a filthy, disgusting place, rank with foul humors, and don't you forget it. Come along now. Hi. Lavinia led, and Jessie followed. Well, that week was short. Okay. What do we need? What do we need? What do we need? What do we need? We need stuff for week 10, but this is only week 8, so we're fine. So many empty slots. Okay. I want grace. I want, like, a lot of it. See, the issue is that, like, what are the ways to get grace? You can't read books to get grace. You can do the top or middle of practice dance to get grace. You can't play with toys. If you go for a walk, you can get grace with the middle option, but only up to the amount of vigor that you've so far earned. And my vigor is already full, so no point in getting it in the first place. Writing a diary doesn't help, and only the Tea Party middle option only gives 1. So sure, if I get a bunch of the top action, I can get a whole bunch of it. But otherwise, it's only either equal to vigor or 1. Or 1. And if I get a bunch of bottoms, then that's just not going to help so much. So let's go here. And let's see what we get. Okay, so middle. Okay, top. Cool, cool. Another top. Wow, okay. Middle, top, top, top. Okay, we're doing good. By the way, artistry is it's like still full. Wow, okay. Okay, okay. Okay, so that would be 8 right there, so that's all we need, and then a middle. So we don't need knowledge, artistry, grace, or vigor, but what's a nice middle option? This gives sympathy and belief, which we do need both of. So let's do this. Because, wow, 4 top options. Okay. So now, yeah, patience is our lowest at 5, and we have 4 that are full. Wow, okay. Oh my god, what do you have there? A new book? The plump girl sighed, showing none of the delight Sarah would have found in such a possession. My father sent it to me to be enriching. I don't see how books have made me any richer so far. May I see it? Shook the volume from Ermengarde's hands and examined the gold lettering on the cover. Poems Antiques by Leconte Lyle, a book of French poetry. Sherry's excitement only deepened the other girl's dismay. Would you like me to read it with you? I'm certain that if... What's this? Oh, Sarah, you have a new book. French poetry, very improving. As long as it isn't one of those shocking new decadent poets, a proper age should not read such works. I'm sure it's nothing of the sort. What do you know about it? I was speaking to Sarah. Actually, the book belongs to Ermengarde. What? Don't be silly. She can't even read it. Ermengarde grabbed the book. It's mine. She turned and walked away. You ought not to tease her so. I didn't say anything that isn't true. What good is a book of French poetry to someone like her? Such a waste. She'll probably never even open it. She should have simply given it to you. I read it. You know that I'm right. You may be right, but it's a gift from her father. I'm sure she will treasure it. Not every girl is as devoted to her father as you seem to be, Sarah Carew. Okay. I kind of think we really should just do, like, one Ermengarde and hope that this, like, helps her out somewhat. Oh, 4 vigor! What? Hold on a second. What? We can actually use vigor? Yeah, knowledge and sympathy, but this is sympathy, so we'll have to get back a lot of sympathy. That'll be fine. We have like 2 weeks to get back sympathy. And next week we can use Marriott's. We have tons of vigor. So let's do Armengard's event first. I've made up her mind to befriend the unfortunate Armengard. Sara first had to seek her out. Someone like Lavinia could be easily tracked from a distance by the sharp sound of her voice or the drumming heels of little girls stampeding away from her presence. Armengard, however, kept largely to herself and did not make a great deal of noise. Sara found her at last bound rather disconsolately in a window seat. Forthright and fearless, Sara walked over to offer a friendly greeting. Hello, what is your name? Her name, of course, is already known as they had been introduced, however, briefly upon Sarah's arrival at the school. Like, you just had a conversation with her about a book. This was, however, the traditional thing that little girls always said to each other by way of beginning an acquaintance. The etiquette of children has its own observances. My name's Armengard St. John. Mine is Sara Crew. Yours is very pretty. It sounds like a storybook. Do you like it? My mom picked it out for me. To understand why she fluttered so nervously, one must recall that new people at school is, for a short time, a very uncertain thing. She's been here for 2 months! Cliques and friendships in a small environment can become very firmly set indeed, and leave no room for the excluded, no matter how many years might pass. The friendless then new student brings with her a breath of hope. Here is someone who's not yet claimed. Perhaps she will like me? And yet, as she is unknown, a friendship may not be a possibility. A new girl could equally be snobbish or foolish or mean-spirited. The hope is always adulterated with fear. This people was even more noteworthy than most, for rumors about her had filled the school even before her arrival. She had her own carriage and her own maid. Her rooms were like no one else's. Her wardrobe was exquisite. She had the adventure of a voyage from India to discuss. It's no wonder Armengard was somewhat tongue-tied upon being addressed. I like yours. Your name? She bit her lip and shouted and let her own stumbling. Sara held out her hand, not as a grand lady might for a gentleman to touch, but as if greeting someone who was already a friend. After only a moment's hesitation, Armengard took it. I'm very pleased to meet you. Me too. Oh, you should meet Emily as well. Who is Emily? Come up to my room and you shall see. All right. They jumped down from the window seat together and went upstairs. Is it true that you have a whole playroom all to yourself? The ordinary pupils at Miss Minchin's Select Seminary had only small bedrooms of their own, enough space to sleep and dress or read if they were inclined, but for most activities they must venture out. Yes, Papa asked Miss Minchin to let me have one. She opened the door and beckoned Armengard inside. See, there is a sitting room through that door. Oh, it's beautiful. Sometimes, when I'm playing, I make up stories about the things that I am doing and tell them to myself, and I don't like people to hear me. Spoils if I think people might listen. Does that sound too selfish of me? I do tell stories for others as well. It's only that some stories, particular new ones that I'm only just making up, are private. They are too delicate to be shared. Armengard had paused, her eyes wide. You make them up? How can you do that? Okay, listen. It's not as hard as it sounds. Why, anyone can make up things. Have you never tried? But where does the stories come from? Inside my head. Don't you ever imagine things that might happen that haven't? You must have dreams when you sleep, at least. Armengard shook her head, her braids wobbling. Okay, not having dreams, isn't that like a sign of, like, something bad? I try not to think about things like that. They are too confusing. I try to think only about what I'm supposed to be learning at school. Try very hard, but it doesn't seem to help. Sara found the concept of a girl with no imagination at all too difficult to grasp. Sure, you must read storybooks about things that aren't real? Oh, no, I hate to read. See, this response disappointed Sara. She fished for a better explanation. I don't read well. I can't concentrate. The words run together, and it's so hard to remember anything that I read in a book. Someone wants me. No, they don't. I'm meant to read a great many books for Miss Minchin's classes, but I get them all mixed up. We read poems after history. I thought that Cristobal was the daughter of the King of Spain. I don't want to read anything more than I absolutely must. I'll only make a muddle of it. If I tried to make up a story, then how would I remember what was real and what wasn't? But it's good that you can. What if you read stories about fairies or dragons? Surely you wouldn't get those confused with things at school. But I might. You are very like a fairy, and you are here at school. I'm sorry. I'm very dull and slow. Everyone says so. I understand if you don't wish to spend any more time with me. Sarah patted Armagard on the shoulder in a comfortable fashion. Everyone is different. I'm only sorry that it means I cannot share my favorite books with you. I have so many favorites that I love, and I wish that you could love them too. Oh, I have an idea. Perhaps if I read them to you, then you would not get them confused with other books? I don't know. Hesitantly, she smiled. But I could try? Good. Oh, that's nice. Mariette, are you... Oh, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you. It's quite all right. Are you reading? Wait, that book. I've seen it before. Is it the same familiar copy of Poems Antiques? You found Armagard St. John made a gift of it to me. Sorry, I might appreciate a volume de poesie française to feel more at home. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think of it. Would you like me to buy you more books in French? I don't mind. Nah, mademoiselle, I am content. But it was a very kindly thought of Armagard's for such a young girl to notice and think of a maid, one who was not in her employ. Many would not. Armagard is very nice. I don't even consider Mariette. I wanted the book for myself, but Armagard has seemed the person who would benefit from it most. And that's another week, by the way. Your maid gets a book, and that's your classes. I mean, maybe Sarah is a bit spoiled considering that she has so many different, like, options of what she can, like, just choose to do. Okay, so we need more sympathy. Wait. Save. What did we need for you again? Yeah, sympathy. Okay. Yeah, this game has just a little bug or something where it doesn't actually save the positions of these into, like... It saves them, like, where they're starting out, like, where they wind up finishing. Even if I hit done, it doesn't save the positions until, like, the next week's thing. I wonder if I go back to, like, a previous week's thing, if it would save, like, the one for that one or the one for this one. I don't know how to explain it, really. But yeah, let's see what we get. Okay, middle. Bottom. Bottom. Top. Okay, cool. Top. Middle, bottom, bottom, top, top. Okay, in that case... Okay. No, because that's only one thing useful. We could totally get that. Because that gives us two things that we want. We could use patience, actually. We could use, like, 4 patience. Top for 6. 7, 8. So we would have 9 sympathy, 9 patience, 10 belief. Wow, okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's be almost completely full. Yeah, 9 sympathy, 9 patience. That was a great week. Sarah was resting in her room with a book when there came a quiet knock on the door. Sarah, Mama? What is it, Lottie? Have you come for tea? Mariette has promised a special treat, apricot sandwiches. Those sound nice? Oh, yes. No. Sarah, Mama, you like school, don't you? I don't know. Was something she had previously spent a great deal of time deciding. After all, whether I like it or not, I am here now. I don't think I could say that I don't like it. Everyone is kind to me and my rooms are pleasant. No, I meant school, with books and numbers and remembering things. Oh, yes, I like books very much. She helped me with my lessons because it's hard to pay attention, and then Miss Minchin scolds me. I don't like it when she says my name like that. Miss Lay. I don't like it. But you make everything interesting. Of course I'll help you with your schoolwork, but you still have to learn it. Alright. Okay, but I can't actually help you. So here's the thing. Armagard, I'm sure Armagard's story is amazing. But for this one, I'm thinking Lottie.
with Marionette as a second, and Oh My God could be a third. We still don't have the last character yet. I'm wondering if maybe I had like different stats for, like, is that the homeless youth that I had found, or is this someone else still yet? Will I get to like week 52, find the person who has like just come here, and that will be the next one? I'm really hoping this isn't more than 52 weeks long, because that'd be an entire year, okay? How many weeks is this game? Sarah lay on a bed, resting her cheek against the cool fabric of her pillow. The light of the mid-morning sun gleamed where it touched the surfaces in her room, lining them away with the fairy's brush. Perhaps I stay still long enough, I will catch sight of a fairy coming to visit me. Next face she saw was not that of a visiting fairy. Do you try to catch your dreams, mademoiselle? I can leave you to sleep. I tried in the past to go back to the same dream, but it never seems to work. Or if it does work, I can't remember it. You'd always remember in dreams. She shifted position, curling onto her side. I just don't feel like getting up today. I'm sorry. Let me see. She laid her dark hand against Sarah's forehead. You may be a little warm, I cannot tell. Does your throat hurt? Yes! No, I'm only tired. It's better to prevent than to heal. I'll fetch you some porridge and salt water. She bustled out of the room, leaving Sarah to contemplate in silence. I do hope that I'm not ill. It would be most unpleasant. I do not quite feel ill, as long as I think nice thoughts and don't feel ill, that I'm not ill, I think. Many young people would have difficulty remaining in their beds all day unless they were too ill to do otherwise. It's easier for Sarah, who enjoyed spinning fancies in her mind. I do not truly need to leave my bed in order to play out stories. In fact, with Marielle to bring me food, I might never need to leave these rooms at all. Like a princess bricked up in a tall tower, the prisoner of a wicked regent is for her to be forgotten, so that he can steal her kingdom in peace. She'd be diligent at her studies, even within her tiny bedroom, so that one day, when she was rescued or escaped, she'd be ready to take back her rightful lands. That was a diverting fantasy, but it led Sarah to a more practical curiosity. There was, after all, someone close to her who did spend most of her days within these rooms. When Mariette returned with a tray of tonics, Sarah asked, Mariette, what do you do during the days while I am away? Since she is my maid and not Miss Minchin's, she should not be made to do other work. She is always here when I need her, so she must not go anywhere else. Oh, many things. She set the tray down. I look over your wardrobe and check for anything that might need mending. I do a bit of embroidery on my own. And I do read your books. That is how you wished it, yes? I did not think to ask each time that I... Oh no, I'm glad that someone else reads them. I have many books, and some of them I only read once, and I worry that they might feel neglected. Yeah, books are for reading after all. Just, you know, as long as they're kept, well kept, I suppose would be the term for it. As long as they're kept in nice condition, there's no harm in other people reading. I'm going to have this accent for a while today, aren't I? Sarah looked around the room at all of her pretty things, the gifts from her papa. They were all precious to her, but if you wish to, it is all right if you play with my toys while I'm in classes. I know that I can trust you not to break them. But please make sure to leave Emily a little bit of private time when no one is watching her, so that she can sleep and relax. If Mariette wished to laugh, she was too polite to do so. Merci, mademoiselle. Now sit up, if you please, and have a bit of breakfast. If you are too weak, then I shall have to spoon the porridge into you myself. I'm well. I'm wonderfully well. I've been gone for 2 hours. We've had 4 notifications. She laughed, for if it was true, she did feel better. Girls, gather round, if you please. I wonder if Sarah's going to come back to her room and be like, oh my gosh, Emily's in a new place. She has been moving around. But it's just, you know, the maid, whose name I've already forgotten. And has just, like, moved her to, like, be sitting at the window or whatever. As the weather is particularly pleasant today, we will not be taking carriages to the park for extended riding lessons. Please dress accordingly. But we are going to have the riding lessons, right? Oh, thank goodness it's been too long. I have never greatly cared for horses. It is fashionable, and a lady should know at least the basics, but it is simply not comfortable. Do you ride, Sarah? I'm not truly say that I ride, but I've met horses and I've been in the saddle once or twice. Well, I'm sure you'll learn. You'll learn everything after all. I do try. I like riding. I wish we could go further than the park, though. It's more pleasant to be on horseback in the countryside. Oh, I agree. It's much lovelier. Imagine being on horseback, galloping across the wild moors, long hair streaming behind you like a warrior queen of old. Riding astride like some hoyden. Even Boadicea rode in a chariot. I think I should like a chariot. Just then the discussions were interrupted by the sound of a wailing child. Oh, hi, Lotte. Miss Michigan was attempting to bring little Lottie together with the older girls, much to her displeasure. I won't go! I won't! I won't! What a ridiculous noise you are making! Stop that at once! Shan't! You're more than old enough to begin learning. Every student at this school is expected to... I hate horses! I won't! I won't! Flinching and covering their ears with their hair, the other girls slipped away to change into modern dress. Only Sara remained. If you don't behave, you should be whipped, just as a horse would be. No! The teacher just wants to whip someone. To Sara's surprise, Lotte suddenly broke free of Miss Michigan and rushed to Sara, cowering behind her. See, would she act the same way if we hadn't had all that private time with her? Cowering behind her and pressing her wet face to the fabric of Sara's dress. Is this more than just a tantrum? Miss Michigan, please, could you let me talk to her alone? Dear Sara, you are very kind, but we simply don't have time for these shenanigans. If you can make her mind swiftly, then do so, but it must be done. Shaking her head, she walked away. Lottie wiped her hands across her face. Her shrieks had quieted, but her eyes were still little frowns. Lottie, are you afraid of horses? Yes. Well, then no wonder that you are upset. This cheerful justification startled Lottie enough to leave her frozen in mid-sniffle, mouth hanging open. Sara nodded and continued. It's normal to be upset about things that frighten you. Only, I think it is also normal to try and make yourself less frightened if you can. You wouldn't want to be afraid forever. Horses are very large, but they can also be kind and sweet. They like apples and carrots and being petted, just like cats do. Lottie now seemed more confused than distraught. Perhaps today you should just go and meet the horses? Then you can come back and play with Tybalt. What if Lavinia won't let me? Then we shall wait until she is not looking, and while we wait, I will tell you about the horse who rescued a lost prince. She held out her hand, and after a moment, Lottie took it. A new weekday activity is available, so you can use it to help the younger students with the schoolwork by choosing the tutoring option. Oh! What does tutoring do? That tutoring is gain books equal to patience, gain patience equal to books, or gain 2 patience and 2 books. Well, here's the thing. My patience is at 9 and my books is at 10. So it is nice to have more options, which I'm really thinking the game is God Save the Queen. Long Live the Queen? Hold on, let me pull up Steam and figure out what this one game was called. Long Live the Queen. Long Live the Queen. Because in Long Live the Queen, you can get extra options if you do certain things. So yeah, getting an extra option, it's like, ooh, now we can do more things. Kind of scrunched up them all a little, but that's fine. So what do we need? Patience, sympathy, and like 4 vigor. What is this? That is, no, art and grace, so we don't really need that. Or, if one of them is a bottom option, we can do that. That is sympathy and vigor. If we get a top option, we can get that. Save game to here. Yeah, so this is week 10, so we're going to have some time with Lotte here. Well, in the next episode. We're going to figure out exactly what we want and go at it next time.